Have you ever heard the flea in the jar analogy? It's like a man puts a flea in a jar, puts a lid on the jar. The flea can jump, 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 hits its head against the lid, and then eventually the flea learns that the lid is a limit. And even after you take the lid off the jar, it still will only jump as high as right below the lid. I have no idea if this is true or not, but it sounds very plausible to me. And I'm going to tell you why, because my theory is that the majority of our problems are solvable and have not been solved because we have been convinced they're inevitable. When in fact they were manufactured and socially constructed and therefore can be socially deconstructed. We have been so thoroughly conditioned to believe that our problems are not solvable simply based off the fact that old solutions have not worked. But instead of saying, hey, these solutions didn't work, we're like, these are the right solutions. You just have to try harder. Matter of fact, these are the only solutions. So your only choice is to continue to strive or give up. And what do? We give up. Of course we do, because it seems hopeless, it seems pointless, we feel helpless. I used to think like that, and when I did, I was not helpful to y'all. I just dumped a whole bunch of bad news on you every day, like the fact that we are defunding harm reduction policies and fentanyl test strip without offering any kind of viable solution, like partnering with organizations that already do harm reducing measures or creating a little free harm reduction center. Box, library, cabinet, I don't know. Center sounds so formal. Like, I'm not talking about a center. I'm really just talking about like a pantry, like a little free library. But now I operate from the assumption that all problems are solvable. And then I look for one of the many potential solutions that there are for pretty much every problem that exists. I didn't wake up one day and decide, hey, all our problems are solvable. So when I present the world's problems, I'm going to present them along with potential solutions. That's not what happened. It started with me asking a very basic question, which is, what did people do before this? What did people do before shampoo? What did people do before tampon? I fed that curiosity. And then over time, I started seeing it applied to more and more areas of my life. Like, what did people do before funeral parlors? Or what did people do before prisons? Or what did people do before race? It took me years to train my brain to see differently, but I have designed a challenge that will train your brain to see things differently in only 100 days. Through 5-minute micro learning challenges, 5 days a week, you grow into the bravest version of yourself. It's not going to happen overnight, but eventually you will be a person who hears problems and thinks possibility. A person who can tell the difference between material reality and the constraints and abstraction we layer on top of it. If you're serious about mental transformation and you want to know more, put challenge me in the comments and I'll let you know more.